Fresh from banishing their first traitor with a little help from Kevin himself, the Faithfuls had the opportunity to make it 2 in a row if they followed the clue that Kevin left them. Sounds like a slam dunk case and a chance to add another $10,000 to the prize pot, but as we know in this game, something or someone can flip a certainty into a big mistake. Before the latest banishment, there was unfinished business as the traitors had picked Thompson outside in the dark cemetery. The choice to either recruit him or murder him was to be determined. My preference after a traitor has been banished is to get rid of a faithful instead of recruiting. You're one down and need a little control while the faithfuls are reveling in their catch. A recruitment doesn't always signify a yes, so you can potentially lose the upper hand. Still in the point, nod and headshake predicament, Coco and Venus chose to murder Thompson. Thompson wasn't in a position where you can throw him under the bus, but I don't think he would have necessarily been good for either of them in the game. With Thompson's elimination, could this move put more eyes on Rhea and help lift the focus away from Coco? Not that it seemed like it was their intention, but that didn't have any bearing on where suspicions were. At breakfast, there was a lot of talk about the previous roundtable that saw Kevin banished. Many were saying they can't let go of the fact Kevin was after Coco and to a lesser extent Shaughnessy. I'm with Hollywood when he said Lizette needs to get off the Charlotte is a traitor train. This wouldn't be the last time Lizette is called out for not being in the same vicinity as the others with her suspicions, as Charla called Lizette out at the roundtable after Lizette once again voted for Charla. It's sort of become a low-key obsession, a feeling that Lizette can't shake though she's the only one still on Charla. At least Lizette is consistent with it, though she seems convinced that Kevin was misdirecting everyone in an attempt to protect Charla. Lizette should ask herself, why would Kevin blow his game to protect Charla? I did wonder if part of the reason Sarah Nicole thought it was a bad move to murder was because she wanted to be recruited. Sarah Nicole would be the last faithful they should ever consider recruiting. She's got the trust of a few faithfuls and I believe that she would win on her own if she became a traitor. Sarah Nicole is someone the traitors should look to eliminate at the first possible opportunity. While the smart move might have been to follow up on either Coco or Shaughnessy, much of the chatter was also about Omar and Rhea. The way Rhea was being talked about was funny to me because they're building her up as some big actress, though it was mainly Meredith that was focused on Rhea's so-called acting. It's even more funny that Meredith thinks Rhea is hiding something. Funny in the sense that this accusation is coming from the very person who is actually hiding that their spouse is also in the game. This mission was similar to what US Season 3 ran, but instead of being allowed the option to put their own picture up after getting the answer correct, they could only pick someone else. So no traitor mistakes by not trying to get the shield. Hollywood picked Sarah Nicole's picture so she can be vocal at the roundtable. Sarah Nicole's one that hasn't been shown to speak that much at the roundtable, though she's been shown in having good insight outside of it. With a couple of swapped pictures and some incorrect answers, the end of the mission saw Hollywood, Sarah Nicole and Shaughnessy with the last pictures up, which meant they won the shields. The more the episode went on, the more I thought Omar was going to end up with the most votes. One of the reasons given were the faithfuls didn't think Karine and production would choose 2 Big Brother players as traitors, but would have a Survivor player as a traitor, with many trusting Venus more than Omar. Why wouldn't production not pick 2 from Big Brother? There's no rule against it. Have they not been paying attention to anything Karine has said? Things are a bit different this season. I was very surprised that Cara started off the roundtable because she's one of those that has been shown to be quiet. Using her experience of working for her husband, who is a lawyer, asking questions to further clarify things that have been mentioned earlier in the day. Omar's comment at breakfast was the first question, where he mentioned the fact that the banished and murdered players were men, so there's more women to possibly be traitors. I will admit I did forget about Mackenzie, even though it wasn't that long ago since she wasn't saved from the death list. So it wasn't just all men, but there is a sizable difference. I'm not sure why I forgot about Mackenzie, as I kept getting her and Shaughnessy mixed up in the first episode. As the discussions were continuing, there was a moment where I said out loud, "You lot are idiots." I immediately apologised, though they couldn't hear either comment. My inner thoughts came out and I couldn't help it. I could see coming what eventually did happen. Another faithful was going to get banished. Before I move on, I just want to talk briefly about something Omar mentioned. I don't normally talk about things that happen outside of the game, but I thought I would as it had some bearing on Omar's game. The reason for why Omar is grateful for Kevin's friendship is a very sensitive subject and is a completely different conversation to what this video is about. Given the political climate and what it sounds like happened, it was a big deal for Kevin to stand by Omar, and that is evident in Omar's emotions on display. Kevin and Omar have been friends for a few years, though it doesn't seem like everyone in the game knew of this. I only mentioned it briefly as it sounds like Omar might have had some blinkers when it came to Kevin. Whether it was because he was blind to seeing Kevin as a traitor, or like Omar stated in his commentary in previous episodes, he thought Kevin might be his traitor angel. Sometimes players don't realise how knowing someone in the game can have an influence on their decision in certain situations. We've seen moments where Charla and Meredith have to be mindful about what they do or to not be influenced by the other. It's a fine line because every step or decision can be used as an argument against you when it comes to traitor accusations, and Omar's lack of disclosure about his friendship with Kevin might have played some part in him receiving votes. Back to the votes, and there was one standout moment that confused me and might have wrecked one player's game. Rhea's vote for Dom came out of nowhere, especially as she had spoken to Jericho and some others before the roundtable about going for either Coco or Omar. Her move had Jericho and Natalie upset and questioning Rhea's motives. With suspicions already on Rhea, this was not a good move for her to make, and I wouldn't be surprised if her name received a few votes in the next roundtable. Venus voting for Coco wasn't a surprise despite the talk of not voting for each other. Venus's reason for voting for Coco was in part because of what Omar mentioned in regards to his friendship with Kevin, though Venus could have voted for neither and looked elsewhere. Unfortunately for Omar, he received the most votes and was banished. Coco did well at the roundtable, but with Omar being banished, the spotlight could firmly be back on her. I would be very surprised if anyone other than Coco and Rhea are banished, but we know how quickly things can change and someone else finds themselves on the chopping block. I mean, look at Shaughnessy. There has been multiple times her name has been written down, but she didn't get a single vote this time, despite Kevin throwing her name out in the previous episode. Coco and Venus once again have the choice between recruitment and murder without the silent communication this time. We don't know which way they will go, but Venus suggested Rhea for possible recruitment. Would Rhea even accept? If that's their choice, then I don't think it would be wise of Rhea to accept. She was suspected before her move today, and now some of the people that trusted her are looking at Rhea differently. There's no way this works out well for Rhea. If Coco and Venus choose to murder, then it might be best to not murder one of the men. There's only 4 left, and if they want to use one to throw suspicions on, then they won't have many left. I just can't think of who would be best to eliminate to cause the chaos that they want. Picking Charla would only cause chaos in Lizette's mind, while choosing Lizette wouldn't do anything. If Rhea wasn't so heavily suspected, then I would say she would be a good pick, but that would hurt Coco's game. If Sarah Nicole hadn't won the shield, then that would be the pick, but it might just end up being Cara if they choose to murder. Maybe they should go for a more strategic pick and not for chaos, but I'm not sure who that is either. I'm glad they're making the decision and not me. Let's see what happens in the next episode, and if the sneak peek has correctly pointed us in the direction that there might be another successful roundtable.